only done the two.
Okay, let's get going.
Yvette, those 10 points work really well.
Yeah? Great. Okay. Isn't it funny, when you all come in, you're all like this, not talking to anyone, and now we can't even sit down, because you're all meeting people and having a good time. Always the way. Okay, so, you remember our little Twitter exercise at the start, yeah? And you all thought Twitter was load of rubbish. You guys, sorry.
Yeah, we had no results from those. Before I show you what I have done is track the use of the hashtag GutsPro. Now I will say there are a few people that put messages out without the hashtag, I'm now discovering. So there's more than there's 2 numbers, and I am searching those down and actively replying to those. Just to let you know, it doesn't, even for me, things don't run smoothly. I had an adapter come down and I actually lost internet for most of the first half, so I was working off my iPad. Luckily it was all in the cloud and I had ReadSuite. I can tell you the live stream too. We've had people from Holland, hi Renee, still there watching. And all over the coast and all over Queensland. We've got someone from Melbourne on the live stream. Say hello everybody. Hey Renee! It's not just us here. So they've been tweeting as well. They've been helping us out, and I am continuing to reply and retweet. So the number of tweets were quite large, which I'm really proud of. The number of followers you have were relatively small for most of the people in the room. So we've got 2 numbers that you're going to see on the graphic. And it's in terms of the number of Twitter profiles, so the actual Twitter members that potentially could have seen a message with the hashtag GutsPro in it in the last 2 hours. So that doesn't mean I have some 43,000 followers on the Z DeLuca. So not all of those people are online right now. So they're only looking at people that are online, potentially saw the message. Are they all in your target market? Did they all react or click a link? No, probably not. Now some of those people will have seen multiple messages because I've started retweeting and reposting those to the accounts. So we also have a figure called impressions. Now, is anybody doing advertising at the moment based on impressions? The number of eyeballs potentially could see your message. Anyone doing newspaper advertising? Television advertising? Radio advertising? You're paying for the numbers in the regions, the reach you can get, if you like, for those messages. In both Facebook and Google advertising, you can actually pay not just when someone clicks on the ad, but you can choose to pay for impressions, the number of times the ad is shown to a potential client, okay? So we're going to look at the numbers on the number of Twitter profiles, so the number of people, if you like, memberships that got to see the message GutsPro, and the number of impressions that they've had. And think about if you were paying for these. You can bring it up for me.
Make a guess.
Yeah. How many do you think? How many Twitter profiles do you think we got to first? Almost.
How many people saw it?
500.
500?
Any other takers?
20,000.
3,000. Is that who actually saw it? Actually looked?
So they're online and it went into their news feed right now. It doesn't mean they acted on it, but potentially they saw it.
10,000.
10,000?
Yeah, 40,000.
No, probably about 100,000.
The actual Twitter ones? There's some guesses. Now, what about impressions? Remember, in marketing terms, on average, a person needs to see your message 7 times before they'll act on it. So, how many of those do you think maybe doubled up? Would we have doubled up 2 or 3 times? How many impressions do you think would be a good target? I've got no idea.
No idea. You tell us.
Who knows how many people hit their website last month? Yep, how many was it?
Oh, in a month?
Yep. On average month.
600-700?
600-700? I'd be really happy if they got that in a day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah? So eyeballs on your marketing messages. Okay, so let's have a look at the numbers. You didn't beat the record, guys, but we will work on it. So the number of accounts reached was 48,197. So that's 48,000 Twitter users online right now that a message with GutsPro went into their tweet stream. And out of that, we actually had 145,000 exposures. So think for a moment, yeah?
Is that from your one account or is that from
anybody that used the
Everybody's
hashtag
collectively.
Guts Pro an account. Because as I said, I've got 43,000, but they're not all online right now. So these are the eyeballs, if you like, that have seen the message. So this is the number of accounts. This is individuals. This is how many times it was shown, the message was shown.
So we might have seen 4 or 5.
Yeah. So if there's 50,000 of these and 150,000 of these, it means on average these accounts saw 3 messages.
Isn't that
Guts Pro.
nice? Do you divide the eyeballs by 2 to get people, or just?
I'm in marketing, so we multiply.
And just because they might have had kids in their lap while they're doing it, multiply. I could be in real estate. Think though, if that, instead of being the hashtag Guts Pro, if that had been your marketing message, or that had been your website, or that had been a link that you wanted clicked in order to buy your product. And we've done that in that short amount of time by leveraging an established network, I'll admit, but also by getting the power of a group to send it viral through social media. Do you think that Twitter's a waste of time?
If you'd just done it yourself, how many would there have been?
Pardon? I haven't actively, for that, I haven't actively started retweeting and reposting because, quite frankly, I could probably go and get 200,000 by the end of tonight myself.
Sorry, I didn't do the caps. Does that make a difference?
No, upper and lowercase makes no difference. So, but as I said, there's a lot of you I still have to reply to because I wanted to get the power of the group, not just say, oh, that's easy if you've got 40,000 followers already. So,
The purpose of retweeting, is that capturing the people who are now online that didn't get it before?
yes, or potentially our different audiences. So without doing a full Twitter training, people choose to start following you and they get your messages. You can choose to be their follower and read what they're tweeting. So the people that are following your account and seeing the message from you could be completely different to the people that are following my account.
I got 11 new followers in the last hour.
So you got 11 new followers.
That'll be from that activity, right?
Yeah.
Has to be.
Yeah, it
And
has
wait
to be.
till I start retweeting you and suddenly some of my
Well, I had
43,000
zero,
go,
so
oh
I
wow,
didn't
you're interested. And
The
that's
other
what Twitter's about.
We've got
Very
5
high
followers
school
now.
connected dots.
She had 0, now she's got 5 followers. In an hour, that's pretty good. 5 new customers, potentially. Okay guys, some of you came up to me in the break and started asking questions about the program, and I didn't mean to be rude, but I was holding you all at bay saying just wait, because that's what we're covering now, okay? So we now know, I hope, that you've got to stop being ostriches, that you've got to take this seriously, and that you've actually got to make it a priority, because if you don't, you might not have a business to be worried about. Because we're so busy being busy, aren't we? We're busy in business, but there might not be a business to be busy in if you don't sort it out. Alright, so let me tell you all about this amazing program. And it is, and I'm not being a salesperson, we're really pleased that we've had the opportunity to, via Michael and Broadband Today, get the funds to be able to put together a program like this. And we've put our heart and soul into it. We did do a similar-ish program, which was 6 months long, and we worked with 100 small business owners in Whitsundays, Bundaberg and Sunshine Coast. But we worked out 6 months is a bit long to commit to for business owners. So we've shortened it to the 12 weeks. But we really do need you for 12 weeks to go through what it is we need you to know, because there's a fair bit to it. And each week we pick a different topic. So anyway, I'm going to throw these up quickly, because this is essentially what the program is, and I'm going to go into each of these in detail, okay? So it's 12 weeks long, and it's delivered online. One question I had in the break was, where do we go for the training? It's online. You go wherever you want to go. It can be in your jammies, you can be at work, you can do it at 5 a.m, you can do it at 1 a.m, whatever you want to do. There's 12 webinars, they're all recorded. So someone's already said to me, oh, when does the thing start though, because I'm going away for 2 weeks soon, but you can watch the recordings. So there's really no excuse there. 12 e-lessons, I'll explain what they are, you get them weekly. The private Facebook group, I'll explain what that is. There's a members area of resources, and you get an accreditation, I'll explain why and how, and there's a rebate. So that is the Get Up to Speed program in a nutshell. All of this is on the getuptospeed.com.au website. If you want to refer to any of it, make sure it's all stacking up. Okay, who is eligible? You've got to be an Australian citizen living in Queensland. I'm presuming you'd all qualify. Would I be right? Yeah? You're living in Queensland? Or permanent resident of Australia. You're not the first one. Or you have a visa to be here, or an existing worker. The reason we have this is because it is an accredited program, therefore we have to meet this. The money's come from Skills Queensland. Okay, who are the trainers? You've met me, You've met Zoe, and Zoe's amazing, and she covers all the social media side of things. So if you've enjoyed learning a little bit you have tonight, imagine what she could teach you if she had 12 weeks with you. You don't have 12 weeks of social media with Zoe, but you get a solid 2, but you get access to her through other ways. This is Karen. She's now based in Melbourne. She was based in Bridgend until recently, but that doesn't matter because she's delivering online. And Karen is our SEO, or Search Engine Optimization, and pay-per-click specialist. So she teaches you all that Google stuff I was showing you earlier. She's been doing this for years. She's done it for big agencies. She now does it for our company. She's been working with us for about 3 or 4 years. She's a Yahoo accredited ambassador. She does all the Google certification. Because tell you what, there's actually armies of people out there who will say, I know SEO, but they don't. They haven't done the qualifications, they're just tinkering around and they don't really know what they're doing, some of them. Other key people. Oh, I should have taken Jack off because he's recently left us. And then, we don't even have a photo of you yet, do we? I'm sorry, Anthony. Everyone, this is Anthony.
Hi.
I went through the slides, checking it, updated it, and I couldn't miss that. I'm so sorry. Anthony is our amazing tech guy. So he's here running the live stream, but he also knows a lot about code, a lot about gadgets, and he will be the one in the private Facebook group if you've got questions about, you know, this versus that, and what about this, he can answer those for you. We've got Glenn. Did you all meet Glenn on the way in? Yep. That's Glenn. Smiley face, a lot of sore toes. He didn't want to wear closed shoes, but he did. He's in pain at the moment. He might be on painkillers. Right, so that's Glenn. Glenn is our project manager at the Creative Collective, account manager. He deals with new estimates and you know, running projects basically. He is around to answer questions because he knows a lot about all of the types of strategies we'll be teaching you guys through the program. Elise, she checked you all in. Did you all meet Elise on the way in? Yes. She's got glasses on now, but that's her. She wanted to change that photo and we didn't organise that, so I'm sorry about that too. Elise is a very important person for you to know if you're going to join the program or have joined the program. Actually, who has already joined the program? I know some of you have. Oh, look at that. Yay! Elise is the official program coordinator. So what that means is she's your first port of call. If you're thinking about joining, if you have a question about joining, and what about this and what about that, because maybe you leave here and you thought you'd asked all the questions and then you go, oh, I should have asked this, feel free to give her a ring in the office tomorrow or email her. She'll be making sure that you get started and you know what to do and what's next. We realise for some people this is a big deal. We've never done anything like this before, some people. And she makes sure you're getting regular communication about important stuff, bunches of stuff. She's very busy and she does a great job. She's been looking after 200 odd people till now, and I'm sure she can look after a few more too. Okay, Ian's not here with us today, but he's also a very important part of the team. Ian is responsible for doing all the reporting back to Skills Queensland about how this program is tracking, that we're meeting our requirements, making sure we're complying, etc. Lynn, she's here. Lynn, do you want to stand up and wave? That's Lynn. Smiley Lynn. She's always smiling. So Lynn is our, what do we call you? Accreditor, assessor. Assessor, that's it. Right, so when you do the accreditation part of the program, you have to be nice to her. She's the one who marks your submissions, all right? So Lynn and she's got a colleague here today. Sorry? Your colleague's name again?
Rachel.
Rachel are both from Australasian Leadership Academy, so that we're working with them on the accreditation part, and they're working in with an RTO who will tell you about too. We're going to mention Vicky too. Did everyone meet Vicky on the way in? Some of you did, some of you didn't. That's Vicky. She works at Sunshine Coast Council, and she is an important part of our link to the other councils out there and trying to make sure the other regions are finding out about this program. She's also in at the council making sure that the messages are going out to the community about this great program. So she knows a lot about it. She's been doing the program too, haven't you? She's loving it. And you're allowed to say you're a bit of a technophobe when you got started, weren't you? Yeah, completely illiterate. Completely illiterate. And now she's got an iPad. And she knows how to use it. There you go. Am I moving too much? Okay, cool. What will I learn? Do you want to know that? What's actually in this thing? All right. Week 1. Everyone pretty much starts the program like, give me the social media, I want it now. And we go, hang on a minute. You've got to take a few steps back. The first thing you actually need to do is get your online toolbox. Now, If you're a builder, you wouldn't dream of going out to a site without your toolbox, would you? And your safety and making sure you're ready to actually work. Now the same thing online. You shouldn't be going online if you don't have virus protection, it's the right software and the right computer and knowing what you should be doing with this whole thing. Now for some of you, this will be a very easy lesson. You'll go, I've got all that sorted. And you might even get the week off. You get the e-lesson, you go tick, 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 I already know that stuff, and you move on. Others of you will go, oh my gosh, there's a lot of stuff I don't know and I need to learn about it, okay? So that's week 1. Week 2, we analyse your current online presence. Now for some of you, that's analysing the website, because that's your online presence. Some of you don't have the website, you do have a map, or you do have a little listing online, or something like that. So we start to work out, where are you at? And there's no sharing it with everyone else, there's no being embarrassed because you haven't got as much going on as the next person. It's just about taking a benchmark for you, taking stock, and so we have something to compare to at the end of the program. So we give you a bunch of different tests we want you to run on your website and how to find out this stuff. We give you all the tools. And we've just been doing the comparison last week with the current intake. And they've been going from here to here and loving it. And the fact that they can actually see that they've gone somewhere. Because even if they haven't made oodles more sales, that will come if they can see their website's actually on the up. Does that make sense? Then we look at website developments. Who here is in the market for a new website or a website? Oh wow, lots of you. So this lesson will be really relevant to those people. In that we go through, these are your options when building websites. We don't say, this is the one you all have to use. We don't say, build it with us. None of that. We just say, these are the options, and then you choose what would suit you. Okay? So remember the King Glory Garden Centre lady? She chose a thing called Weebly we introduced her to. That was free and easy, and she wanted to do it herself. For others, we show them, these are other programs you might want to look at, and they've gone and talked to web developers about, do you use this program? Can it do this? What about that? Right? For a lot of people, they have a website and they wouldn't even know what it's built on. If I said to you, what platform is your website on, would you know the answer? Yeah, some of you maybe not. It's like driving a car. That would be like me saying, what car do you drive? And you're saying a red one, which some people would say. But it's the same thing. You actually need to know what it is so you know where to get help and how to fix it when it's broken. Okay, week 4, selling online. Even if you're not selling online now, pretty good information to learn. So if you do want to sell online down the track, you know what your options are. And as I said earlier, could be selling physical products, could be selling electronic products, could be selling your services, bookings, etc. We'll teach you that in that lesson. Week 5, we start looking at how to make your website perform better, come up the search engine rankings. And this is basically a 2-part process. There's a lot to know about it, so we do 2 weeks of it. On page, what can you do to your website before you go out to market? The analogy I use here is if you were going to sell your house, you would probably tidy it up first, wouldn't you? You give it a clean, you might give it a paint, you might fix the broken things, mightn't you, before you went out to market. And then the next week, you would say, hey, I have a house to sell, everyone. Same thing with your website. This is the tidy up. The week after, we go to market. What can you do off your website to bring traffic to it? Okay? And then you're halfway already. How about that? It goes fast. Week 7. Yay! Social media. So we don't give you that stuff till then because you shouldn't be doing social media if you don't have a good website and it's not optimised and you're not safe online and using the right tools. You need all that stuff first. And we start off with social media for the individual. I've already had a conversation with someone in the break who said, I'm a bit scared of social media, I have an account but I don't use it much because I don't want different people knowing stuff. And I get that. Because we all have people that we go to barbecues and drink with and carry on with, don't we? And then we all have people that we don't want them knowing our business, but we kind of want to be acquainted perhaps on Facebook. You actually can segregate those lives, the personal, the private, the professional, by using friends lists and things like that. And Zoe will teach you all about them. Any more comments on that, Zoe? The individual lesson, the social media?
Just I always, when I start teaching social media, the business people always say to me, I'm not interested in the personal side of it, I just want to get to the business. And it's vitally important that you learn it from a personal viewpoint, but separating your business and your personal life and being really confident about how to use the technology, but also so you understand how your potential clients are using the sites as well. Because unless you understand the motivation that they're using when they're on the site, then you can't possibly hope to market them effectively. It's vitally important.
And some people, you will actually do it this way for your business, because if you are, let's say, a real estate agent or a personal trainer, the business might be actually about you, and you might start doing some individual stuff and connecting with people one-on-one. So it depends on your strategy. So
Yeah, and you may end up training all of the teenagers in your household too that don't know quite as much as they think they do about the technology.
Wouldn't that be nice? Tell them how it actually is.
They won't listen. Anyone's got teenagers, but
Right, then we get on to social media for the business, once we're sorted with the individual, and that's a big lesson. There's lots to do, but everyone usually laps it up. And for those of you who are quite advanced, you're like, I'm already using Facebook, I'm already using LinkedIn, all that stuff, will I get something out of it? I reckon you will. Because in the online resource portal that I'll tell you about in a moment, we load up our best stuff. So Zoe did a webinar on Pinterest recently. Pinterest is the fastest growing social network out there today. Did you know that? It is. And for those of them who already had everything else sorted and they really want to know about Pinterest, we've thrown up this free webinar, just a bonus for you guys to learn about it if you want to. We go into pay per click, we go into email marketing, all of this stuff. Whether you do this lesson, you say, oh yeah, I get it now, but I don't want to do it, that's fine. But maybe in 6 months' time you do. Or maybe you're in a position at your organisation where you advise them that they could do it and what their options are and so on. Or maybe things are going great in business right now, they get a bit quiet, you go, do a pay per click campaign, that might kick things off. So it gives you the knowledge. Knowledge is never lost. You can use it anytime you want. Email marketing. A lot of people say, isn't it dead? Like with social media, do people still read emails and, you know, this database thing? We say absolutely. Use it. And in fact, a lot of people don't realise they're growing these huge networks, effectively databases on their social networks, but you don't own that data. Facebook owns that data. There's nothing to stop them one day saying we're going to charge you to use that service or we're going to close down that service. They would be allowed to do that. And that would be a real bugger if you put all your eggs in that basket, wouldn't it? So therefore, we're always encouraging people to bring them back from Facebook and those things you don't own to assets you do control and own, like your database. Get them on there. And when you sell your business one day, because most of us are going to retire one day, or health happens, or we just have a change of pace, whatever reason we decide to sell, a big part of the value of your business is actually a database. Did you know that? I had a friend in Sydney, her and 2 other women, started a business called essentialbaby.com.au. You may or may not have heard of it. If you're a parent, you may have. Anyway, they started it and they sold it, when did they sell it? A few years ago now, for $7 million. Why did they sell it for so much? Database. 100,000 parents around Australia they had on that database. So do you think Heinz wanted to buy that database? Do you think Huggies wanted to buy that database? Fairfax ended up buying it. So it was a big war to get this database of 100,000 parents. It was really valuable to somebody. So if you haven't been collecting a database, we'll tell you all about it there. The other online advertising, the banners, the affiliates, all those other options we cover in week 11. Finally, in week 12, which we've just done with the other group, we look at your web stats. By now, you should be starting to understand some stuff. Some pennies should definitely be dropping. And we're going to compare. Where were you 10 weeks ago and where are you now? And we're pretty sure we should have been able to take you somewhere. And it proves the point to you there. And we tell you how to submit your assessment. So that's the topics, okay? Right, webinars. I've said you do these things called webinars. Is anyone sitting there going, what is that? Webinars, as my mum calls them. You're doing one of those webinars again. Yes, I am, Mum. Okay, so a webinar is a seminar and the web. It's a seminar on the web. That's what's called a webinar. Does that make sense? So, all you need to go on one is to look like this guy, but not be blue. You either have a laptop or a computer that has an inbuilt speaker and microphone. We go and buy one of these. They're about $20 from a Dick Smith's or another electronic store. So not a big investment if you don't have one. You'll need to download the software once. It's not difficult. We walk you through it. We provide help resources. And at the appointed time, you log on. Here's some more. We hold the webinars in an evening because we presume you're busy doing your business during the day, right? We starting them on Tuesday the 31st of July. That is the first one of this intake. They're at 7:30 in the evening. The reason they're at that time is we surveyed everyone at the start and we said, what's your preferred time? Lunchtime, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock. Most people said 7 or 8, so we went in the middle at 7:30. For most people, their kids are in bed or going to bed nearly, sort of thing. I would prefer 8 myself. My kids are more like 8 o'clock bedtime, but that's what we had. So Tuesdays, if you have a regular commitment Tuesdays, you can't do it, don't worry, they're recorded. Listen to them Wednesday morning or Saturday morning or whenever suits you. We've had people who've gone to Europe for most of the program and come back and just done a big cram at the end because that's what worked for them and you're allowed to do that. So they're an hour long. About 45 minutes you get me or Zoe or Karen telling you about what we know, as much as we know about that topic. We often complement what's been in the e-lessons, but then we give you a bit more. We give you stories and things that really make the stuff make sense. You go over it a couple of times and you get it. And then at the end you can ask us questions about that topic, about last week's topic, about anything that you're struggling with online in business, and do our best to help. So we upload them usually in a day or two. If you're on the road, you are out and about, we know life happens, you have to go here for the 21st, someone's getting married and you've got this other trip planned as well. Well, you can do these webinars on your iPhone, on your iPad, BlackBerry, Android, tablet, all of these things, you can do them on. So it doesn't matter that you're not sitting at your usual computer, which is pretty cool. Does that make sense for webinars? Yep, great. Alright, on to e-lessons. So e-lesson just stands for emailed lesson, okay? That's what the E is for. We send them via email weekly. The first one's going to go out the 28th of July, so in about 10 days. We send those out Saturday mornings, and the figuring there is some people love getting it Saturday and actually start their Saturday with these e-lessons. They look forward to them. You don't have to do that though. I'm busy with sport on those days. But that gives you Saturday, Sunday, all day Monday, Tuesday, 4 days, and then we have the webinar. So it's kind of in the middle. Then if you've got those questions, you can ask them, and then you keep going with it. But some people get on the webinar, they haven't watched them, it doesn't matter. You'll get the information on the webinar, you go back to the e-lesson after, okay? Now, you can read them on screen, like this bloke is, on some kind of little tablet, or you can print them out and you can read them where you like, on the train, on the plane, in the doctor's surgery waiting, in the shopping queue, wherever you want to read them you can. Some of them are short, 5 pages long. We do give you a breather sometimes. Other weeks there's a lot to know. In the social media lesson, it's about 20 pages long, which sounds like a lot, but again, some of you will skip that stuff. You'll go, oh, Facebook profile got it, Facebook page got it, but make sure you read it and make sure you've got it formed right. You may read it and go, oh, actually, mine's not like that, I better change it. So skip ahead, skip ahead. Others will have to go for each part, because it's all new. So you read and learn, and there's exercises. The exercises, you don't have to do them. Some people are like, oh my God, I'm only on e-lesson 3 because I'm doing every single exercise in every single e-lesson. If you're a diligent type, that's fine, you go for gold. But we sort of encourage you to do what works for you. If you go through and go, that's just not relevant to my business, I'm not going to sell online, I'll never sell online, I really don't want to do this lesson, don't, that's fine, okay? Right, there's a Facebook group. Is anyone a member of a Facebook group of any description right now? Cool. So you will know then that there's open groups that anybody can join, there's closed groups that you have to join by invite only, and there's secret groups that you can't even find them, you wouldn't even know they're there unless you get the invite. Okay, sorry, the closed groups you can search for and find, but you can't get in until someone accepts you. Ours is closed. You can look for it, you'll find it, and you'll have to request to join, right? And then we will check your name versus the registration form, so there's no sneaking in this group if you don't pay us the money, I'm sorry. And then we go tick and you're in. Currently there's about 160 business owners across Queensland ready to network with. Intake 1 can't wait to meet Intake 2. They really are excited. And we've taught them stuff. They can't wait to teach you the stuff we've taught them. They're all like wanting to share their knowledge. So what is this for? This is like we call it the water cooler. If you're a home-based business and you don't have people to go and talk to around the water cooler like you do in a proper office, this is where you can go and talk to people. I'm having a problem with this. I've had something good happen. When, the husband doesn't want to know, he doesn't care about your business, or maybe your friends don't want to know because they're all employees, you can pop it in here and everyone else will go, yay, that's awesome, and I'll celebrate with you. You can share photos and videos on your website and ask the likers of your Facebook page and all sorts of cool stuff. We have a document where you can add your contact details. Some of the groups have started meetups, so they actually get together once a week every now and then, and they talk about this stuff and whatever, and they support each other in business. Townsville have done one. There's talk of a Sunshine Coast one in the group at the moment. You can ask us questions. So often after the webinar, people get off and then they go, oh, I should have asked that. They pop on here and ask it, and we answer it. And if we don't, one of the mentors does, or one of the other participants. So usually around 24, 48 hours max, you'll have an answer. How good's that? Pretty good little service. So this is the part, actually, I'll say out of the program, a lot of the people join for the content, and this is the part they're enjoying the most, the fact that they've got this network. And this part of it, we're hoping will live on well past the program as well. All right. Now, has anyone been on the Get Up to Speed program website? Yep. Okay, if you haven't, it's getuptospeed.com.au. You would have seen this horrible video of me when I hadn't done my hair that day, and I was really, really tired, but anyway.
Just that's the first thing I noticed.
Such a girl thing to say, right?
We can blame Jag now, he's not here.
Yeah. He made me do it on the day he's going to America next day. I was like, I don't do my hair. You have to do it. Anyway, top right, there's a little green key, and you can't get in there until you're a program member. Once you're a member, we give you a username, password, and you enter a whole new world. It's you'll know you're in the right area because it'll have resource portal, and it will look actually. So you enter username, password. I'm sure you can all handle that, even if you're not very clever with these online things. Kind of looks like this. So you get there. We have latest news, the stuff you need to know about. We tell you when the next webinar's on. We tell you what's been uploaded recently. So we encourage you to visit this about once a week. And this is also a communication portal for those of you who, it's your prerogative. If you really don't want to join Facebook, that's fine. We respect that wish. You can find your information here, okay, for the latest news and things like that. But we hope you will join Facebook and feel really comfortable with it. Within here, there's all sorts of drop downs. So, for instance, under resources, you click on webinars and you'll get all the latest webinars. Now, all the recordings that we've already done are actually on there, so you guys can access them. Word of caution, I don't kind of want you guys to do that unless you really need something right now for business, because I'm worried you'll skip ahead and you'll bamboozle yourselves. I'd rather we take you through the process, if that's okay. But if you really want, you're really super keen to get hold of something, it's there. The e-lessons, if for any reason your particular email thing puts it in your spam filter, which has happened, people say, oh, I never got it, you're not sending it to me, and say that might be in your spam filter. We put it in here as well, so you can just go and download it. We have, as I said, done a lot of webinars for the Queensland Government, 30, 40 of them, all different topics, most of them digital marketing, like managing your online reputation and all sorts of things that we don't always necessarily cover in a big way on the program. You can access all of them too. We'll put them all into the portal, ready for you, handy to download. There's documents, there's checklists, there's all sorts of stuff. So you're getting the idea? There's heaps of stuff in there. That sums it up. All right. The rebate. Who wants to know about the rebate? Yay! Who wants a new iPad or tablet or something? Yeah. Well, I would too. Right, how we've got this going on is there is some criteria. You just have to buy it between 1 March, so you're all okay there, and the end of December, right? You can buy whatever type of thing you want, but you have to be able to do the program on it. So an iPhone, yeah, you can do the webinars on it, yeah, you can read the e-lessons, kind of you can do it on it, but we're actually swaying you more towards the actual tablets or laptops or computers, because you can do more with those things, all right? So this is a helping hand to buy them. There they are. What can I buy? It's got to be internet enabled. So like a little Kindle that you can just read stuff on, that's not going to be good enough either. How does it work? It's extended to you only after you've registered for the program. You can't get this rebate unless you're on the program, all right? You have to have received confirmation, so you don't just register, go buy, send it in. You've got to kind of go through a process. You have to have attended this as well. It's another criteria. Once you've done all those things, you've bought the whatever you bought. You have to buy it in Australia, not online as well. You then get the receipt, and you go onto this rebate one, and you basically say, this is my name, here's my receipt, upload the receipt, and we pay you, usually within 3 weeks, often much quicker, okay? Straight into your bank, you give us your bank account details, we pop it in. Anyone who's done the program, Lynn, did you do a rebate? Did you do a rebate? It was easy, wasn't it? Yeah. So once lodged, you'll receive a confirmation email, and you get your money. And then you can be one of these people showing off your lovely tablet. Look at me, I'm one of these.
When you say you can't buy it online, do you mean you can't buy it online overseas?
Yes, overseas. You can buy it online from an Australian source. Yeah, as long as you've got a receipt.
Gotcha.
We have had people send us Microsoft Word made receipts. That's not a receipt. You've got to actually have a shop one. Yeah.
What about buying an iPhone or a tablet on a plan with Optus or Telstra?
We have had that question. Can you remember the answer, Elise?
Yes,
That's fine.
Not an iPhone, no.
Not an iPhone.
Yeah, not an iPhone.
It's got to be something you can do the program on. All of the program.
Yes, you can, like you can get the rebate on the plan.
So you can get the rebate on the plan. So you might pay $80 a month or whatever plan you're on. You send us a receipt confirmation that we rebate you.
I didn't hear what you said.
She just said you can get it if it's on a plan. So let's say your plan is a $50 a month or $80 a month. We'll still give you the $175. Okay?
Yeah, okay.
Sure.
But no.
Okay, here we go. The unit thing. Now, I'm going to level with you guys. I never went to university. I don't have a qualification. You're listening to one of those. I have lots of life experience. However, if you would like to get one of those pieces of paper that proves that you know a lot about something, doing this program will give you this unit here, okay? A successful completion. And that leads into any one of these learning paths. So it's one unit. And these are 8 to 10, is that right, Lynn?
Usually when the,
Yeah.
you get the direct credit for it, so when you're enrolling in the others, you get that off the course itself.
Right, so rather than doing 8 units here, you might have to do 7. Rather than doing 10 here, you might have to do 9. Does that make sense? Now, if you've already got one of those, you can pop it onto the other end. Does that make sense? And you could start towards a second qualification. And a lot of people, some are going on to other things, some aren't. Some are just keen to get a certificate to say that they've done this. So they're just keen to get a certificate like that. And I keep joking because Lynn told us so. People ask, do I get a certificate? And we said, not just a certificate, a beautiful. Okay, what do you have to do to get this unit thing? What do you have to do with this program? That's wrong, sorry. You guys are later. You have to submit an assessment, okay? Which for me sounds scary because I didn't go to university. I don't like that academic stuff. So I've made it as easy as I can for you guys. You have to submit either a website plan or a digital marketing strategy, which you might go, I can't write that then. Oh my God. That's okay. We've got a template for you. Now, pretty much which one you go for depends on this. If you don't have a website, you'll definitely be making a website plan. If you have a website but you know it's not up to scratch, or through the process of the program you discover it's not really up to scratch, you'll also do a website plan. If you have a website and you're really happy with it and through the program you're still happy with it, then you'll move on to doing a digital marketing strategy. Okay? Does that make sense? You have to do one or the other. And we've created a template, and all you have to do on most of the pages is tick boxes and write one-liners or paragraphs. Can we handle that? No essays, no really big long drawn out things. And if you actually do this at the pace of the program, so in the e-lessons when we say go over to page 20 of your website plan and tick what functionality you would like on your website, you go e-commerce, web form, that's all you have to do. You've done that part of the page. So by the end, you should have actually finished it, alright? After you've finished it, we give you about a month that if you've fallen behind or you just want to tidy it up or whatever you want to do, you've got about a month to finish it off and submit it. But you must submit it, it's part of the program, okay? It's easy, I promise you. I wouldn't put anyone through what I would want to do. Alright, another part of the program, and it's a pretty awesome part, it's also the part that people didn't expect would be the big one for them, but it really is the mentor matching. So, has anyone ever felt in business a little bit alone, a little bit lost, a little bit confused, a little bit like, I'd love someone I could ask that to, yeah? Because as I've already said, you can't always ask your partner this stuff. They may not be in business. You can't always ask your mates it. They may not be in business, or they might not want to hear about it, or they don't know about that part of your industry or whatever. So it's pretty useful to have a mentor to sit down with and talk about what you need to talk about in a confidential, totally confidential, non-threatening way. And sometimes, I use the analogy of, have you ever had lots of things going on with, say, the bank, and then you just go in and you sorted it all out, and you go, what was I worried about? Like, I just wish I went in there ages ago and sorted that out. Or the doctors or something like that as well. Mentors are the same. At any point when you're a bit confused, you're a bit overwhelmed, you're a bit lost, that's when you should be going and meeting with them. Don't make the mistake of saying, I've got to get organised before I go and see my mentor. When you're feeling so disorganised, that's when you should go. Just turn up and go, help, I don't know what I'm doing. Yeah? How you get a mentor, we've got lots of them. How many have we got in Sunshine Coast? 10?
Yeah, they've got about 26 all up.
20. We've got about 26. There's this guy in the back there. We're going to get him up in a minute. We've got about 26 mentors on the Sunshine, 10 on the Sunshine Coast-ish, and they're growing, and they're coming and going as well. And we also have them in other centres. So, we have a page of mentors. You can go on the website when you get home and look them up, and, read about them. You'll discover they're not all web gurus, not by any means. Some of them know a lot about HR and nothing about the web. Some of them know a lot about finance. In fact, they're accountants, and they know nothing about the web. But the reason we've got a big diversity is because it may be that your IT systems are just so bad that means you can't do the program. So actually that's your first priority. Go and sit with a mentor, sort that out, and then move on with the program. It might be that you don't have the right staff in place. We can't find good staff. Well, you're trying to do everything. You can't possibly do it all. So you need to sit down with the HR person first, and they can go through how to grow your business and get things in place. Or you really may need to sit down and talk about website and digital marketing and all of that. And yes, we have mentors who know a lot about that stuff too. How it works is you can say, you go and look at the mentor page, you find someone who looks like a person that you could get on with and that has knowledge that you need to access. You log into the resource portal, so you can't do this if you're not in the program. Go on to access a mentor, put in your name, where you are, who you'd like to meet. We can't always guarantee that's who you'll meet, okay? But we will try our best, because some of them is really popular. And you've got to understand too, the mentors are actually doing this for free. We don't pay them, not being. They do it out of the kindness of their hearts. So you should buy the coffee, I should add. Or the beer, or whatever. You can tell them how you'd like to meet, whether you'd like to do in person, or if Skype or on the phone would suit you better. You can do that if you like, so no one has to travel and you don't have to eat into that time. And you say what day of the week, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and what time. We don't always guarantee that, but we get you as close as we can, okay? Saving everyone lots of time. So, at this point, I would like to introduce you to one of our mentors who is here. Jeff, would you like to come on and introduce yourself?
That's a handsome one.
Let's give him a hand of applause.
Hi everybody, I'm one of those people who's not an online guru. That being said, I've got a broad range of experience working with all sorts of businesses, from manufacturing to service business to online. I haven't told Yvette this, but I'm currently working with a business that started an online division 2 years ago. They did $2.5 million online in their first year. 10 million in their second year. This year we're actually going to try and hold them back to 15, and that's so we can get all the systems and stuff in place.
Local business, Jeff?
Local business based in Maroochydore.
Cool.
Selling tools online, and they'll be a $30 to $50 million business within the next year.
Awesome.
So this stuff kind of works. They've got a retail store, which used to be the big part of the business, and they developed an online arm. Guess which is the bigger part of the business now? So online is now probably about 60 to 70% of their business. In the future, it will probably be at least 80% all the way through. With plans to grow the retail side of the business. I'm a generalist, and I look at all of those parts of your business that you need to look at. Marketing, sales, production, whatever that means to you. Admin and finance, admin, ICT and finance, and underpinning everything is people. Because I don't care what your business is, if you take the people out of it, all you've got is a collection of depreciating assets. And your business will only ever work as well as the worst performing one of those. So you've got to have a holistic approach to business and make sure that everything is capable. It's all about structure, systems, measurement.
Cool. Thank you, Jeff. If I can just add to what Jeff said, I found myself in a bit of a pickle in business end of last year. Not many people know this. And bad accountancy advice. Terrible. Got me in the right jam. And I called Jeff, and at the last minute, gave him no notice. He came and he met with me, and he was fantastic. And lots of people pay Jeff a very high hourly rate to access his knowledge on a regular basis. Like as much as you'll pay for the whole program. They'll pay for 1 hour with Jeff, perhaps. He's still near it. I don't know exactly what his rate is, and I won't disclose it. But what I'm trying to say here is just think of the value of this program. It's $250. You can access people like Jeff on a regular basis. What does that mean to your business? Pretty awesome stuff. And on the mentors, some people meet with a mentor just once and they go, I've got so much to get on with now. I'm so clear. I don't need to see someone for ages. Others say, that was fantastic. I really need this all the time. And you basically negotiate. We do the initial mentor match, Elise does. She'll make sure you get that happening. And then after that, it's up to you two to nut it out. You have to be respectful they're doing it free. So they might say, look, all I can commit to is once a week or once a month or something like that. Or just give me a call next time you want to meet me. And others will be more than happy to do a whole lot of stuff. So it's up to you what you negotiate from there. We just do the initial match-up. Okay, who is doing the program already? Testimonials? You're not? No. Who's already done intake 1? Maybe Lynn or Vicky, would you mind explaining to people the journey of the program, what it's been for you? Would that be useful? I think it would be useful for them to hear it from someone else.
It's better for Lynn who has her own business.
Okay.
I think I haven't been able to apply it to my own business. And it's been useful to learn a lot about that, but I think the application is a really important bit.
Would you mind, Lynn? Sure, cool. So we'll just stand up and say, do you mind just going through where we were at the start of the program, what's the main things you've learned and applied as a result of doing it?
My business in Australian Leadership Academy, so we do a lot of corporate training nationally. And I guess my website is very much like a brochure that we can have to use as much as far as utilising it for the online components as well. But what I loved about the program, and particularly the e-learning and the webinars, it gave me a whole range of different ideas to work, because some of the things will work with the business in some way from different areas, and so I was able to go through those, see what was really affecting our business and be able to implement those as well. So it's been fantastic that way. And the lounge in particular, the Facebook lounge, has been
We call it the lounge, the Facebook
lounge.
group. Sounds a bit more groovy.
Have a coffee or wine and go to the lounge and network with a whole range of people. So it's been really fantastic.
Any major milestones or what's your plans for the future?
Well, Rachel's actually doing the next program as well, so Rachel's just new in the team, and so we're looking at developing that a whole lot more as well. I initially did the program so I could find out a little bit more about it, because I'm doing the assessment as well, so there's a lot on that side of it.
Yeah.
But the presenters are going to be very professional. I think we're going to do huge amounts on them as well, so it ranges from a whole range of things. I've got an IT, my partner's the IT expert, and loves to explain all the nitty-gritty of the whole range of things, and I'm going, do whatever, just make it work. But to be able to get and find out some more details of those good review, because people like know that now, and find out what you really want to do. So,
Awesome. Thanks, Lynn, for sharing. Yeah.
If there was one thing you got from the course that you were applying,
I suppose more of the social media side of things, because it's something I'm developing as well, but there's a whole lot range of things to go into. But it also has, one is obviously is LinkedIn, I guess for my business, but it's other as well, so how can you utilise that more? Some of the basic things around the web page, but it's one week when I first started, first time, I said, oh, it's so different So just interacting and finding out what best suits your business and what can so,
Thank you for that. There's no one else I've missed that wants to? Lynn's is a corporate training organisation, nationally offering training. Okay, so I'm going to give you a chance to ask questions, but the final part you need to know is if you want to be part of this thing, how to do it. Either you can take a registration form here tonight, you can fill it in and hand it to any one of our helpers who are all at the front right now. If you have any questions in filling it in, ask us. I will warn you, it's kind of long form, it's about 5 pages of A4, but there's tick and flick stuff. It's accredited, that's stuff we're required to get for Skills Queensland to call off their Education Queensland. Or you can go online and register, or you can grab the form, fill it in at your leisure and submit it back via email or fax, and the details of how to do that are on the actual form. But there's only 400 places on this program. We have 210, somewhere around that on the first group. We've had 50 registrations since we've opened intake 2 without any event like this. So, and there's people in the live stream, there's people, how many did we get today? 5 people registered or something like that? Just today. So if you do want to do it, I'm a big believer in action. You know what happens? You'll probably, I hope right now you're feeling quite pumped and like this is for you. But if you leave it another week, one, I can't guarantee they'll be in place. Two, you just lose your enthusiasm and you start putting all these things in your head about why you don't need to do it because your business is busy and da. So I want you to remember how you're feeling right now and how important it could be to your business to do. Remember the ostrich. So finally, questions. Does that cover it? Do we feel clear on what it is? Yeah? Yes?
I have no idea about the costing and where the rebate and what you...
Sure, I didn't think that was very clear. So the cost of the entire program, I can go back to the components here, might be helpful. Not those. Back that way.
Is it subsidised by the government, this program?
Yes, so we think
Because
this would actually be worth about $3,000 if you actually paid what it's worth.
Yeah, so I get what's in the program.
$250 is all you'll pay for that.
But you get
And $175 back if you buy an internet-enabled device.
Yeah, that's all.
You have to pay
They pay $250 to get the $175 and buy an internet-enabled device, which you may have been going to buy anyway. Yep. Totally tax deductible. Yep, it's studied.
And
How many hours? That's a good question. You might all want to hear this. Look, it really depends on you and your business. We have very advanced people who get on and they skim through the e-lessons and they go, I've already got that. But they get one link out of it and go, wow, I didn't know that though. That's worth doing the program for. They might not spend that long. They might spend, I don't know, a couple of hours a week. One on the webinar, a bit of time in the lounge and a bit on the e-lessons. Others will realise they have so much to do that they might have to spend quite a few hours on it. So it's like anything. I can't give you a direct answer. You get out what you put in. So the more time you can commit, you'll probably get a better result with your online stuff. But I would suggest you do allocate at least 2 to 4 hours a week, at least, would be ideal. But very flexible. You know, that could be all on the weekend or half an hour a day, or you work out what works for you and your schedule. Yeah.
I just want to ask about the lounge, that internet, the Facebook group. Is it like membership to that for a certain amount of time, or for as long as the group lasts? Or
we're going to keep that going. So all the other components of the program, all this is live till December, and then there's no funding after that. We might try and seek more. We don't know what's going to happen. It's a funded environment, and any of you all know that. That's as far as we know. But we do want to keep the Facebook group alive because we think that should live on, and it's got such great value.
Can I add to that? I think that the courses we're doing for that Facebook group alone, I'm completely biased, but the network and the support available in there has been amazing.
I learn stuff in it all the time. They teach me stuff. You can't know everything.
And while I don't encourage it all as business owners, we often have fantastic discussions, not with red wine in hand though, maybe. At midnight, I mean, I've been on there at midnight or 2 a.m. I've flown in from somewhere and there's discussions going on. You know, I'm sure there's people that are getting up and doing it at 6 a.m. on an early riser. But what's coming out of that is a whole network of people. They are having meetups. I'm doing a training in Townsville in a couple of weeks, and already a group have said, great, let's get together, and we will have a red wine then. And what they're doing is they're forming little support networks in their local communities or across similar businesses and having the same sort of challenges as you. So I really encourage you, if you're going to do the course, maximise that group.
Because some have left it and they've got in there late, and that's fine, they're still going to get benefit, but the more active you're in there, the more you get out of it too.
So is that group international?
Yes, well, statewide. They're all in Queensland. Yeah.
So you actually have to be a paid member of the program before you're accepted as a member of that group, and we check the seats. So everybody that's in there is in the program.
Yeah. No backdoor sneaking in.
So is that 160 plus the 400
There'll be 400 in total, so we've got
400 total.
Yeah, so we've already got 200, just over 200.
260.
intake one.
Sorry?
We've got 200 people on the program right now.
Yeah.
We have 60, some of whom are in this room, already registered, put their money where their mouth is. And then there's, 40, another 140 spots.
All right, so there's not 400 in this.
No, 200-ish on this intake. Which sounds like a lot, but we, through the Facebook group and the way we've set it up, it's actually really easy to look after all of you.
No, the Queensland Business Group on Facebook has about 1,000 people in it, and they've got some very strange rules and regulations, and we almost find that gets too big if you come in as a latecomer, but with the people that are in there, remember they're all exactly like you. They've all got similar trials and challenges, they've all got similar stories, and I think for that reason they're all really encouraging and supportive as well. And I've had a couple of people say to me that other business groups or maybe even networks, they feel a bit silly asking the question that quite often someone will ask the question and go, I'm so glad you asked that because I've got exactly the same problem.
Yeah. And it's right to ask webinar questions in that group as well, because if you watch the webinar afterwards, it's not
That's
live,
right.
you can ask your webinar
exactly
questions
right.
in that particular group.
Yeah, and maybe someone who was on the webinar will answer, or maybe we will, depends how technical it is. Yeah, but there's lots of like, oh, I found this great new app, and there's, oh, I've just got the Samsung account to do this, and all these cool things going on all the time. It's so good to hear.
Sorry, we've got husband, wife and autistic son.
Yes.
Who would possibly do that? Is that one registration or free?
It's up to you. If you all want the accreditation, you'd need 3 registrations.
You don't care about
and 3 rebates is another thing. But if you want just one person to get those benefits, then it's just one. One username, one login.
Okay, so someone.
So not 3 of you can come in the Facebook group, either of you one. Yeah.
Now, someone who's could understand basic computer stuff.
You do need. That's a good point too.
They
We're
can
assuming that you can.
computer, but not.
You really need to be able to use a computer, and you really need to be able to use the internet to do this program. Like if we say go to this website, you need to know how to do that. You need to know how to receive an email.
That's pretty much it.
That's pretty much it. Some basic Microsoft skills might not go astray. Some Word and some Excel maybe. But
our son can't get a job, but he can do this.
Quite possibly.
Easily.
Yeah, well, you know your son's capabilities.
And I will say I've had a number of people in the first intake that were not on Facebook. They've never seen Facebook, they've never gone near it. So while I would encourage you as part of the program to do that, I have had a couple of people in the program that we taught to physically copy and paste, because that was a skill that they found really useful when they came doing messages. So they did know how to get onto the internet, they did know how to do a search on Google and to use email, which I think would be the core that you really need.
You say Word and Excel, is it Apple compatible?
All of it's, Apple or PC, whichever you use. Yeah.
And the webinar software works
on email. Yeah. Yes?
Right. Okay, I'm just in the process of adding some newsletter blogging onto my website and increasing the SEO and all that, and integrating it with social media. But I got told to get a Hootsuite account. Is that just a portal to throw it in?
That's that one we've thrown up, and that Zoe mentioned as an app. So yes, it's a social media monitoring and management tool, is what it is. Yeah.
So you're not actually sitting there writing your whole newsletter on it?
No, it's not a newsletter function. It's just a social media one. It's a free app. Yeah.
So think of it as a social media marketing tool. So once you've written your newsletter, then you can send a link out to all of your different social media sites. You can bring an RSS feed into it, so if you put something up on your blog without getting too technical, you could automatically have that posted to your Facebook and your Twitter and your LinkedIn and stuff like that by using the Hootsuite. And I do certainly cover Hootsuite. It's also something we've done with our groups and events.
We basically teach you our secrets. Like people that say of me and Zoe, you're everywhere. You must be online all the time. And I've already told you, I've done a schedule for Christmas Eve. I'm not online all the time. I'm having fun too. But we're clever about it. We work smarter, not harder. Right?
Be authentic in that though. Don't schedule something and pretend it's live.
Yeah.
What about blogging? Is that part of
We do a little bit of blogging. It's not a huge part of it. We touch on it. Yeah.
We certainly do in terms of the e-marketing side of it though, and I dwell very heavily in social media marketing for business on bringing all of your leads back to a property you own. And ideally that should be a social property, something you're updating regularly. So if you do have, I think it was Liam saying you had a flyer website before, so if you've got a website that's really pretty static, then you may want to be looking at ways of either it's newsletters or blogging or some other way to get that interactivity and engagement happening. And we'll show you a few models for doing that, but we're not going to actually teach you to use a WordPress. More in the e-marketing.
Yeah, there's little bits of it in both. But having said that, if all of you were like, we want more blogging, we'll probably go, okay, well here's a resource we actually do have on that, we'll throw it in there. So we've, to some degree, by demand. But I do want to make the point that you could easily do a 12-week program on blogging and a 12-week program on social media and a 12-week program on SEO. But this is foundational. This is what I think every business owner needs to actually go in any direction, you know. And some of you, like I said, it will all be new to. So it'll be a huge learning curve, and others there'll be parts, and some of you advanced ones will just grab a few tidbits that you go, but it's a gem and I love it, you know. So we're all going to go on quite a different journey, but we think we've come up with something, which is quite a challenge, to be honest, that actually does meet everyone's needs. Yeah. All right, well, it's got a little bit past the time. There's lots of questions, but we're around. Come up and talk to us. We really do hope you'll register. Thank you for coming tonight, and I hope it's been worth your while.
Thank you.